Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about how to choose a hypothesis test for your data analysis. In order to make an informed decision, it's important to understand the different type of hypothesis tests and the factors that can influence which test is best for your specific analysis. So before we get started, let's review some basic concepts. Like in statistical analysis, we often use hypothesis testing to make the inferences about population based on the sample data. The basic idea is to compare the results of your sample to what you would expect to see if the hypothesis were true. Now let's dive into how to choose a hypothesis test, and here are some 5 key factors that you can consider. So the first one is the type of the data that you have. Are your data nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio scales? So you have to first look into that. For example, nominal data are categories like hair color or eye color, while interval data are continuous like height or temperature. And this will help you to determine which test you can use. Well, don't get too much worried about all this stuff because later I'm going to give you some examples and will tell you that which test is best for that specific scenario. So stay with the video till the end. The second is the number of samples that you have. Well, are you working with one sample or two samples? This will also determine which tests you can use. For example, if you have one sample, you might use one sample t-test, but if you have like two samples, then you might use a two sample t-test. So that's an important factor. And the third one is the type of analysis you want to perform. Well, let me explain that. Like, are you interested in comparing means, proportions, variances, or other factors? So this question will help you to narrow down your choices. For example, if you want to compare the means of two groups, you might use a two sample t-test. And the fourth factor is the assumptions of the test. Some tests have strict assumptions like normality of the data, while others have more relaxed assumptions. For make sure that you understand the assumptions of each test before you choose. For example, the t-test assumes that the data are normally distributed, while the Wilcoxon rank sum test assumes that the data are not normally distributed. So this is an important thing. Now, the fifth factor is that the level of significance. Well, this is the alpha level, or probability of making a type 1 error. It's important to choose a high level that is appropriate for your analysis. For example, if you are conducting a medical study, you might choose a significance level of 0.05, while if you are conducting a survey, you might choose a significance level of 0.01, 0.10, and this value ranges for case by case. So now we know the factors. Now let's take a look at few examples in order to help you to illustrate these concepts. So let's consider first example. Suppose you have a single sample of data and you want to test if the mean of that sample is different from a known population mean. For example, you might have a sample of heights and you want to test if the mean height of your sample is different from the average height of general population. In this case, what would you choose? Well, you would choose a one sample t-test in this case. Now let's move into the second example. Suppose you have two independent samples and you want to compare the means of those samples. For example, you might have a sample of heights of men and a sample of heights of a woman, and you want to see the means are different. In this case, you would choose a two sample t-test because you have two samples, right? And let's move into the example 3. So let's suppose you have two nominal variables, and you want to test if there's a significant relationship between these variables. For example, you might have a sample of hair color and eye color, and you want to see if there's a relationship between two. So in this specific case, you would choose chi-square test. So, well, I have explained the three different use case scenarios, and told you that which test you can use in those scenarios. So yeah, I hope you guys get some idea about how to select the hypothesis. And in conclusion, like I would like to say that choosing the right hypothesis test for your data analysis can be challenging. But considering the types of data that you have, the number of samples, the type of analysis that you want to perform, and the assumption of the test and the level of the significance, you can make an informed and correct decision. So basically, you are making the decision based on the data that you have, and that's the main theme of the data science, right? So that's really cool. So I hope these examples help you to clarify the process of choosing hypothesis test. Remember one thing, that it's important to choose the right test because each test has its own strengths and weaknesses, and the results of your analysis will depend on the test that you have chosen. So now that you have a solid understanding of how to choose a hypothesis test, it's time to get started with your own data analysis. If you have any question or any further help, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more contents. And thanks for watching. See you guys in the next video.